Level 1, the Wanderer, the Recruit. You didn't arrive here by accident. You traveled the road from the Varangians to the Greeks, a grueling journey across frozen rivers and through the treacherous Black Sea. You have left behind the poverty and the endless blood feuds of the north for one reason: Miklagard, the great city. To you, Constantinople is not just a capital. It is a gilded machine made of marble, gold, and silk. Joining the Guard is not like joining a tribal warband. It is a corporate entry. To become a recruit, you must pay an entrance fee, a massive sum of gold or a promise of years of service. The emperor doesn't want starving peasants. He wants proven assets. You stand in the shadow of the massive Theodosian walls, a barbarian in a world of extreme sophistication. You are a contract killer in a silk-lined world. At level 1, your primary struggle is systemic culture shock. In the north, you fought for glory and family. Here you fight for a contract. You are given a professional kit, a heavy scale mail shirt, a crimson cloak, and the iconic long-handled Dane axe. You are taught to march in formation, to stand still for hours, and to keep your mouth shut in the presence of the Basileus, the emperor. You are a foreign body in the heart of the empire, kept there because the emperor trusts a mercenary who speaks no Greek more than he trusts his own scheming generals. The psychological shift is the loss of tribe. You are no longer a son of a specific fjord. You are a Varangian. Your new brothers are from Sweden, Norway, and even Anglo-Saxon England. You are part of an elite outsider class. You live in the barracks of the Great Palace, a labyrinth of luxury and danger. You realize that while you are a protector, you are also a display piece, a symbol of the emperor's reach and his absolute power to buy the fiercest souls on earth. You are currently a hired shadow. You spend your nights on the outer perimeter, watching the dark waters of the Golden Horn. You are learning the first rule of the Guard: loyalty is a commodity. As long as the gold flows and the emperor lives, you are his wall of steel. You are the unseen edge at the gates of the world, and you are starting to realize that in Miklagard, the shine of gold is often more lethal than the edge of an axe. Level 2, the Perimeter Watch. You have moved from the docks to the walls. You are now a member of the Perimeter Watch. This is the level where you realize that Constantinople isn't just a city, it's a fortress of logic. Your duty is to man the Theodosian walls, the triple-layered defense system that has never been breached. To the Greeks, you are a barbarian, but to the emperor, you are the deniable guard. Your daily life is defined by vigilance and discipline. You aren't raiding villages anymore. You are a professional sentry of the state. You stand on the high battlements looking out over the rolling hills of Thrace. You are the first to see the dust clouds of approaching armies, Huns, Bulgars, or Persians. You learn to operate within a tactical system. You aren't just an individual warrior, you are a cell in the imperial defense network. The challenge of level 2 is the culture of law. In the north, might made right. Here, the law of the Basileus is absolute. You learn the rules of the gate: who is allowed in, who must be searched, and who must be removed quietly. You are the filter of the city. You see the merchants, the spies, and the diplomats, and you learn to read the social signatures of the East. You are no longer just a fighter, you are a guardian of order. Psychologically, you are undergoing the softening of the steel. You are surrounded by luxuries you never imagined: heated baths, exotic spices, and intricate machinery. You start to see the value of the gilded life. But you never let go of your axe. You remain the alien element. You are kept separate from the local population to ensure you never develop sympathies for the city's commoners. You belong only to the emperor. You are the giant on the wall. To the citizens below, you are a terrifying figure, a massive, blonde-haired man in heavy armor who speaks a language of harsh consonants. You are the physical deterrent. You realize that your presence alone prevents riots and scares off invaders. You are starting to understand that in Byzantium, the image of power is just as important as power itself. Level 3, the Palace Shield. You have moved from the windswept walls to the silent, marble corridors of the Great Palace. You are now a Palace Shield. This is a promotion into the inner sanctuary of the empire. You are no longer guarding a city. You are guarding a man who is considered God's representative on earth. You have entered the gilded cage, a world where the floor is made of porphyry stone and the walls are covered in gold leaf. That your duty is the static watch. You stand at the doors of the Chrysotriclinos, the Golden Throne Room, or outside the Emperor's private bedchamber. You are a human pillar. You must stand perfectly still for hours, your eyes forward, your axe held at a perfect angle. You are the final physical barrier between the emperor and the endless stream of assassins, usurpers, and disgruntled relatives who populate the Byzantine court. The reality of level 3 is the intimacy of power. You see the basileus when his crown is off. You hear the whispers of the eunuchs and the secret deals made by the empress. You are a functional ghost. The Greeks talk as if you aren't there because they assume you don't understand their complex political games. You learn the geometry of betrayal. You see who enters the room with a smile and leaves with a pale face. You are the only person in the room who isn't trying to climb the social ladder psychologically. You are developing tactical paranoia. In the palace, a cup of wine or a silken cord is more dangerous than a sword. You learn to watch the hands, not the faces. You recognize the predatory silence of the court. While the nobles use words like loyalty and piety, you know that your steel is the only thing truly keeping the emperor alive. You become a specialist of the threshold, deciding who passes and who is stopped by the cold weight of your axe. You are the barbarian mirror. The sophisticated Greeks look at you and see a primitive brute, but you look at them and see a den of snakes. You realize that your outsider status is your greatest strength. Because you don't care about their titles or their gold-threaded robes, you cannot be manipulated by their politics. You belong to the emperor's shadow, and in return, you are given the most precious thing in the empire. The emperor's total, fearful trust. Level 4. The imperial executioner, the axe-bearer. You have moved beyond being a simple guard. You are now the axe-bearer, the emperor's personal instrument of sovereign violence. In the Byzantine world, you are known as the Pelekiphoros. Your role is no longer just defensive. It is symbolic and final. When the emperor travels, you stand directly behind his right shoulder. You are the physical reminder that beneath the silk and the incense, the empire is built on a foundation of cold, hard steel. Your duty is the final sentence. When a rebel general is captured or a traitorous noble is condemned, you are the one who steps out of the shadows. You carry the great axe, a weapon so large it requires 2 hands and years of training to master. You are the executioner of the state. In a city of complex laws and endless trials, you represent the binary choice, submission or the blade. You are the tactical endpoint of every political argument in Miklagard. The burden of level 4 is the psychological weapon. You are used as a tool of terror. The emperor sends you to interview suspects because he knows that the sight of a 6-foot-tall Norseman silently sharpening an axe is more effective than any torture. You are a master of visual dominance. You wear the most expensive armor in the world, gold-plated scale mail and deep purple cloaks. But your face remains a mask of Nordic indifference. You are the barbarian at the throat of the aristocracy. Psychologically, you have entered the clinical zone. You don't see the people you execute as humans, you see them as tasks. You have witnessed the highest peaks of Byzantine society fall to the floor in an instant. This gives you a profound sense of imperial nihilism. You realize that in this city, power is a flame that can be blown out by a single swing of your arms. You are the only person in the palace who doesn't fear the emperor, because you are the one who makes him fearsome. You are the shadow of the throne. You have become a legend in the streets of the city. Mothers tell stories of the axe-bearing barbarians to keep their children in line. You walk through the forums and the markets and the crowd parts like the Red Sea. You aren't just a soldier anymore, you are a mythic asset. You are the Viking Reaper, in the heart of the sun, and you know that as long as you hold that axe, the Emperor's word is law. Level 5, the field veteran, the vanguard. The gilded cage has opened, and the Emperor has unleashed his hounds. You are now a field veteran. When diplomacy fails and the Byzantine legions are held to a stalemate, the Varangian solution is called upon. You have traded the silent marble halls for the smoke and blood of the front lines. Whether it is the mountains of Sicily, the deserts of the Levant, or the plains of the Balkans, you are the vanguard, the shock troops of the empire. Your role is the kinetic breakthrough. You aren't used for skirmishing or long-term sieges. You are the tactical hammer, saved for the most desperate moment of the battle. When the enemy line refuses to break, the Varangian Guard is ordered to charge. You fight in a dense shield wall, a moving fortress of interlocking wood and steel. With your massive axes, you don't just kill the enemy, you dismantle them. You are famous for being able to cleave through a horse and its rider in a single blow, a feat that shatters the morale of any army facing you. The reality of level 5 is professional ferocity. You have earned the nickname the Emperor's Winebags, not just because of your legendary drinking after a victory, but because of the intoxication of combat. You fight with a controlled Norse rage that the disciplined Byzantine soldiers find terrifying. You are the unstoppable asset. You don't retreat. You don't surrender. Your contract is paid in full, and you fulfill it with absolute violence. You are the reason the Empire's borders are still standing. Psychologically, you have become a brother of the blade. Your loyalty isn't to the geography of the Empire, but to the men standing to your left and right. You have survived a dozen campaigns, and your body is a map of scars from across the known world. You've seen the black dust of the desert and the golden sun of the south. You realize that you are a universal warrior, a man who can adapt to any terrain and defeat any foe as long as you have your brothers and your steel. You are the gilded barbarian on the march. After the battle, you are the first to be allowed to loot the enemy camp, a privilege granted only to the guard. You are becoming incredibly wealthy, dripping in silk and stolen jewelry, but you still sleep on your shield. You are the elite shadow of the Byzantine war machine, the ones the enemy fears in their sleep, and the ones the emperor counts on to win the wars that no one else can. Level 6. The Akolouthos, the commander. You have reached the pinnacle of the foreign hierarchy. You are the Akolouthos, the follower. The title is a Byzantine irony. While it suggests you follow the emperor in reality, it means you are the shadow he cannot move without. You are the commander of the Varangian Guard and the only foreigner allowed to hold the keys to the city's treasury and the emperor's private safety. You have transitioned from a soldier of fortune to a systemic power player. Your role is the ultimate liaison. You sit in the councils of war with the great logothete and the domestic of the schools. You are the bridge between the barbarian rage of your men and the imperial logic of the court. When the guard is restless, you are the one who speaks their tongue and reminds them of their oath. When the emperor is afraid of a coup, you are the one who moves the heavy infantry into the corridors of the palace overnight. You manage the human assets that keep the dynasty from collapsing. The burden of level 6 is the weight of two worlds. You are no longer fully Viking, but you will never be fully Greek. You are a political hybrid. You must navigate the labyrinth of betrayal in the court while maintaining the unbreakable honor of the North. You manage the massive Varangian payroll, tons of gold that flow from the treasury to the barracks, and you ensure that the blood price for your men's loyalty is always paid. You are the one who knows which of your officers are getting too close to the local rebels and which ones are ready to return home. Psychologically, you are the guardian of the legacy. You see the empire not as a sacred land, but as a grand machine that must be maintained at all costs. You have outlived multiple emperors. You have seen crowns change heads with a single whisper or a single axe stroke. This has made you emotionally detached. You don't serve the man, you serve the throne. You are the permanent constant in a city of constant change. You are the gilded chieftain. You carry a ceremonial silver-bound axe, but your real weapon is your institutional knowledge. You know the secret passages of the palace, the hidden loyalties of the generals, and the exact price of every man in the city. You are the most powerful outsider in history, the barbarian who holds the life of the most powerful man on earth in the palm of his hand. Level 7. The Gilded Ghost, the Return. Your contract is fulfilled. You have survived the gilded cage and the bloody front lines. You are now the Gilded Ghost. You have packed your chests with Byzantine gold, your cloaks with fine Eastern silk, and your mind with secrets that your kinsmen in the north could never comprehend. You are one of the few who made it out. You sail away from the Golden Horn, watching the dome of the Hagia Sophia vanish into the horizon, returning to the cold fjords as a Viking of the south. Your status is now that of a Bali the Elegant. In the north you are a walking legend. You don't just bring wealth, you bring imperial prestige. You walk into your home village wearing silks that cost more than the entire village's worth. Your armor is polished to a mirror finish, and your stories are filled with emperors, eunuchs, and golden palaces. You are no longer a simple raider, you are a transformed asset. You are the bridge between the savage north and the civilized east. The burden of level 7 is the alienation of the scene. You have seen the peak of human civilization, and now the north feels small, cold, and primitive. You have a Byzantine mind trapped in a Viking body. You look at the local chieftains and their petty squabbles and you see them as children. You carry the invisible scars of the great palace, the memory of the betrayals you witnessed and the lives you ended in the name of a god you barely understood. You are a ghost of Miklagard, forever haunted by the golden light of a dying empire. Psychologically, you are a strategic archive. You spend your final years as a kingmaker. Local kings seek your counsel on how to organize their armies and how to build fortresses. You teach them the logic of the East, how to use coin as effectively as the sword. You realize that you have become the sovereign signal of the Varangian legacy. Your life was a bridge that allowed the North to touch the stars of the South, and you are the evidence that the world is much larger and more dangerous than the fjords suggest. Your journey ends in the quiet reflection. You sit by a fire in a wooden hall, but your mind is still in the marble corridors of the great palace. You realize that you didn't just serve the emperor,